What is up? What is up, guys? This is Merc with the Mic, and this is another The Game of Rage podcast by Red Cyclone Inc. I am Merc with the Mic, and I'm joined by Tenacious T.
I am plugged in.
And Game of Rage podcast, we usually have some segments here. We're going to start with our topic of this cast, which we probably won't get into right away, but we're just going to give you the topic right away, is failed systems.
But how we always start a cast is the outcome of the challenge.
Challenge!
Fuck these fucking challenges.
So last week I had Arrow the Acrobat. You had Perfect Dark. Oh, last month. Yeah, sorry.
See, the reason why I gave you Arrow the Acrobat is because when I was a kid, I know, and I've said this time and time again when it comes to this cast, that I never had anything growing up, so I always played things at other people's houses.
Yeah.
So this was a game that I remembered playing a lot at my cousin's house, which was your challenge of Arrow the Acrobat.
Yeah.
So
I'll give a brief synopsis. There's not a lot to the game, because story-wise, it was very
it was no story at all.
It was a little story. But Arrow the Acrobat, I played the SNES version. I should have played the Genesis version you were saying, but I played...
Genesis version is better.
I played the copy I was able to get. It was difficult. It was a little hard little fucking game because you had to get acquainted.
Patterns aren't like the rest of everything else. Like, you had to really maneuver him.
Yeah, because you had to it was like more of finding where you had to jump and keep an air.
Picture it like Aladdin. You know, when you had to jump. No,
Aladdin was such a better game.
Oh, well,
I wouldn't compare to that because
I'm just talking about the jumping of the things from one thing to another.
I wouldn't compare it to that because the fact that they had an actual landing.
Yeah.
This one you had to guess where the fuck they were at.
Like, you're in the air.
Yeah.
And if you fall, you start all over again.
Yeah, exactly. The game is okay. It wasn't. It's not something that I will oh, this is amazing. No, it wasn't. It was a lot. You could tell that Sonic had a big influence on the character.
Okay.
As in the attitude. He had a little snug attitude. He was waiting for you and things like that. So they modeled him off of Sonic 100%. I didn't like the fact that you couldn't tell if you were hurting the boss or not. There was no indication if you were hurting the boss.
It's no meter.
They just stood the same color. So basically, I'm guessing I'm hitting them, and then
I hope I'm doing it right.
Exactly. I had when I started playing it, I did have to look up something just to see the synopsis of the game and seeing what I have to do because if you just picked up the game and play, honestly, it don't tell you shit. Yeah. So you have no clue what the fuck you're doing. You're just jumping on things, and
you have to buy the actual physical game and read the manual. Yeah. I would assume.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
And it didn't
like I said, the only reason why I wanted you to feel a little bit and sense a little bit of something that I played a lot as a kid. I actually never beat the fucking game. At Sega, I got really close towards the end. Yeah. But then I always had to go home.
I did beat the game. I finished the game. It was these two clown bosses inside a fucking little ship, and then when you knock him out, the ending is pretty much him falling, and he's falling throughout the whole credits.
He's like, ah.
And then you just see your guy just looking at him, waiting for him to fall all the way down.
When is he gonna hit?
And that's pretty much the ending of the game. He's just waiting for him to fall and die.
I wish you did play the Sega version of it because I think the graphics and the play was a lot better.
So I did the comparisons and I looked at both of them. It was not much of a difference. I think the only difference was the sound. That was the one big difference I noticed.
Score of it?
The sound on Sega was a little bit better than the one on Super Nintendo. Sega had better music, in general. Most games had better music. It sounded better. So I think that was it had a nice little soundtrack. It had little nice upbeat things that I was bobbing my head
I just always thought Arrow the Acrobat was just cute. But, he's just a circus bat.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. It was very tedious at times, but I enjoyed it. I'm glad I went through it. I beat it. Another notch
on the belt of of the cast.
Yeah, another notch.
Because we all know anybody who's been a frequent listener of this cast knows that I'm fucking horrible when it comes to.
It's not that you're horrible. It's more the fact that
I got so much shit to do.
So
man.
this is the thing that I've been trying to do, and honestly, if you notice, a lot of the challenges I've been giving you has been things that are accessible.
Yeah, convenient.
Yeah.
To the time. You
so,
know what I mean? I've tried, and this challenge that you gave me, probably out of the last maybe 3 challenges that you gave me, I actually put a real.
Yeah.
I dedicated time. It's just I underestimated the.
You probably should have started a week before you started.
Well, you know. Yeah, but I at the same time, unfortunately, I have a life. I got a side business I'm doing. There's a lot of things that come into play. I commute a lot for work, so my time is very limited. But I wanted to make a real effort.
Yeah.
At going at this game. So my challenge was Perfect Dark, and I thank you for it because. One, I never played it, never even knew anything about it. When you told me on the last cast that it succeeded,
it was a successor. It was a successor of GoldenEye because it was the same people that have created it.
It is the same. It literally is the same exact gameplay.
Yeah.
But what it did was it amped up the play of GoldenEye because the second 007 game was nothing compared to what the first one was. The way it was shot, the game scenery, the first person where you are the person, you know what I mean? Like that whole play was completely different to the GoldenEye. With Perfect Dark, one, you're a woman, which I think is fucking cool as shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? And her name is Dark.
Yeah.
She's like a spy.
Yeah.
And she has to infiltrate certain places and do certain things. Same type of feel of GoldenEye, the same look, the same gun shoot. But what it did was, it GoldenEye was a one and done with the levels. You know what I mean? Where with her, it was a continuation. One board is not one board; it's 3 levels on one board.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it was a total of 9 boards.
Yeah,
I've made it to 7. All right. Within a week.
Yeah.
So I think to me that is good for the amount of time that I'm able to do. But what I really genuinely loved about it is that, one, I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
2, it was fun. It was sort of like a Judge Dredd kind of feel, like a futuristic kind of thing where there was drones going around. The AI was not the same.
Yeah.
At all, because I would sit there and I would do it. Now, I didn't cheat. Sometimes I go to like walkthroughs, stuff like that. I wanted to actually dive in because this is a type of game that is me. Like, I love GoldenEye. I can play GoldenEye all day long, and I actually know a lot of people who don't like GoldenEye.
Yeah.
But because of that, I wanted to just genuinely learn it.
Yeah.
So with no hints of anything, it just tells you the mission checkpoints, what you got to do. So I didn't want to be a cheeseball and do agent, so you have to do secret agent.
Yeah.
So obviously there's 3 different levels. It's agent, secret agent, and perfect agent. So I was playing on secret agent the whole time. And there was a couple of times here and there I was like, damn, I should have did fucking agent just so I can get through the game. Yeah. But I flipped back to an agent at one point in time, and it was still equally as hard.
Yeah.
Just because it's less missions doesn't make the game less hard, which made the game fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because I do one thing one way while I'm going through it. Say, all right, so I'm on Air Force One.
Yeah.
So the whole thing on Air Force One is that I got to go find the president.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to go and find this key that opens up the door to the president.
Yeah.
And I go and meet the president, and the president's like, okay, you're telling me that my own people are plotting against me. You're going to need fucking, proof by it.
Yeah.
But I sit there and I talk to her, and then talk to him, and then he's like, okay, I believe you. Let's do it. So then I start running through it, and then the bad guys start swarming through. What I did the first time didn't work the second time.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out another thing. So rushing through it is not an option. you actually have to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
To figure out exactly what to do, it's more trial and error than it is like put out in front of you. You can't sit there and look at the objectives and be like, okay, I know what that is. Okay, I know what that is. No, it's like you're running around, and if you didn't hit that, you're like, what the fuck am I missing right now?
Yeah.
And then you die, and then you redo it again, and then you die, and redo it again. I've been on Air Force One for 3 fucking days. All right, but it was cool. One thing that GoldenEye had that was better, I felt like everybody knows GoldenEye. Everybody knows 007, James Bond, the Pierce Brosnan one, which is our generation of James Bond.
Yeah.
Besides the Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What it had with that was each mission was completely different. This one, the continuation made it harder because you thought that you've completed it, but it only made it even worse. You know what I mean? So like I said, I did not complete it. Gameplay was awesome. Even my brother walked in and was like, when the hell did this game come out?
Yeah.
It's like it's an N64 game, but it was remastered. The Rare Replay was an Xbox 360 version of it. So it was cool. It was very sci-fi. There was aliens in it. There was flying cars in it. There was this hovercraft that you had. Different compounds. Well, overall, it was fun. Like I don't remember too much of the actual what was going on because I was more focused on trying to beat it.
Yeah.
Try to get through it.
Yeah.
And I almost did it. I wish I didn't get drunk that one day. 'Cause if I didn't get drunk that one day, I would have had a whole Sunday to dedicate to it. And doing my side business slid me off of the track.
Yeah.
But I think I did pretty well, and I'm not going to play anything else until I'm done with it because I actually am truly invested in it, and it inspired my boy Matty, who lives upstairs from me. He just started playing it, so now we have a conversation going on. So overall, I thank you for it. I'm not done with it.
Yeah.
Before I play another game, I'm going to finish that game.
We're gonna have maybe a cast down the road, and this is we will call the Challenge Redemption. And we will talk about the ones that we lost, that if we could complete them.
Well, one was on my DS.
Conquers.
Well, Conquers I want to finish, but at the same time, I don't know. Once I played Perfect Dark, like Conquers was no longer even a thought in my head.
Like again, we'll give a time limit. So I guess what we'll do is when we hit a year for this cast, which will probably be in the summertime. I think it's June.
No, it was May.
May. So May.
We're talking. No, it's
May.
No, it was pandemic, and I was home. I was home for a month.
So I think it was March.
It was March, April would be. Yeah, that's crazy to even think about that.
This is 11th episode. No, this is 10th episode. So I think May.
So May, yeah.
So May, what we'll do is Challenge Redemption. And we'll try to go back to the games that we lost challenges to and change those botches. This is your choosing of going back to play it. You could keep the loss or kind of gain a point.
Well, you have so less losses than me.
Exactly. All I had to do is like one little thing in No Mercy.
No matter what, by May, Perfect Dark will be done.
Yeah.
100%.
So,
second I leave here, I'm going to go home and play it.
Yeah. So I think that's something, an idea that we'll bring up down the road and see, like, we do Challenge Redemption because.
See, but Perfect Dark was like the perfect example of like a format of a game that it doesn't need to work for one type of thing.
No, 100%.
You know what I mean? It's like THQ with wrestling.
Yeah.
Perfect example. It started off with well, for me, it started off with Revenge.
Yeah.
Then it transpired to WrestleMania 2000, and then
No Mercy.
Yes, granted, it was wrestling.
Yeah.
But this is a first-person shooter. Yeah. This paved the way for shooter games.
No, 100%.
You know what I mean?
So GoldenEye was the predecessor.
Besides, like
Doom.
Well, Doom and Quake are the same kind of format.
Well, they're the same makers.
This was Quake on PC is probably one of the greatest games.
Well, Quake and Doom are made by the same people.
Yeah, I mean they have the same form. Doom just was more fucking like gruesome and gory, and you know what I mean. Like it's sort of what made. If there was never a Doom, I don't think there would ever be a Gears of War. It's sort of the same fucking thing. Yeah. It really is. With this, it's like, what do you really look at? Like Metal Gear Solid?
Honestly, this game. Honestly, the only game you could look at to feel the gameplay of this was GoldenEye. Like, there's nothing else like it
now,
since before that.
Perfect Dark 2 the same format, or did they change it
Very
up?
similar, but just better graphics.
Is it better than the second GoldenEye, which is not GoldenEye, it's a day,
100%.
Tomorrow, whatever
100%.
Fucking it's better than that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I thought in my head that I would do Perfect Dark, and then
Perfect Dark Zero.
Start the second one.
Zero, yeah.
You know what I mean? Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because I want to see where it goes.
And that was on the 360, so it's prettier.
Okay, but
that was that was a launch title for the 360.
But you know, it's important to talk about that because the first person shooters change throughout time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have your Call of Duties.
So
you have your Modern Warfares. You have like Vegas Knights.
Yeah.
Like, tell me that game wasn't fucking awesome.
So GoldenEye, for its time, was the first mass multiplayer first person on a console.
And if you were Odd Job, you were shit out of luck because you were getting shot in the head.
So console-wise, GoldenEye was the first.
You can sit there and you can do the 4-screen.
Yeah.
It was split screen. That was the first time that you were able to do that.
No, 100%. And that's the reason why I'm saying that one was like the first two. The first I've seen it. Like honestly, I could be wrong, and there probably was some before it, but the one I know was GoldenEye. Then Perfect Dark came. Perfect Dark came out like late in the system.
I mean, I choose GoldenEye over Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
But just that.
It's just the characters and shit like that.
I mean, I got to roll in a tank and run motherfuckers over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought it was cool as shit.
But yeah, GoldenEye was the first. Perfect Dark came out late in that system cycle. It came out like towards like the end.
Because they lost the rights to GoldenEye, right? To James Bond.
Yeah. So a lot of the stuff was gonna go into the next James Bond game, but then they lost their license to it.
Because I would have loved because the second GoldenEye I played it and I beat it, and it was nowhere near.
No, and that's when
nowhere
EA took over
near fucking GoldenEye.
Yeah, that's when EA.
So Perfect Dark was like a switch up. It was like the same feel, but just like a different story.
Yeah,
with
they
a
had
woman.
a story.
You know what I mean? Think of like the Resident Evil with GoldenEye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not the dead factor, but like the woman accent. How many games at this time were like besides Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
Like it was a woman that was the dominant character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do plan on continuing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a good game. It's a fun game. I chose it because you love GoldenEye, and that was the reason why I chose it.
GoldenEye's fun, and I'm still fully dedicated in this game. I want to hit that credit screen.
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah, so yeah, that was the reason why I picked it for you. Is the fact that you love GoldenEye. We had conversations with GoldenEye, and I was like, all right, you never played Perfect Dark. That's a prequel to it.
The thing is with these challenges, yes, obviously it's more ideal to finish it, but it's more to feel.
Yeah,
and more to experience what each other is presenting to each other. Like Era the Acrobat, I never once said it was a great game.
Yeah,
but it was a game that I remember clearly having late night moments when my cousins are sleeping and I have nothing to do, and I just finished Nightmare Before Christmas for the 30th fucking time, and I'm either playing Jurassic Park for Sega or I'm playing Era the Acrobat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or trying to get 50 kills in a row so I can be Smoke in fucking Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So that's our challenge for last month. Yeah, I think it was a good experience. I'm happy that you enjoyed Perfect Dark.
I liked it better than Conquer. Like Conquer, the thing is with Conquer, it was very raunchy, but it's corny sort of at the same time. You know what I mean? Like they did like a fucked up Disney kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like
so again, I think I said in the last cast, and this is something I kind of wish you did before you played it. I wish you played Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, well,
because if you would
characters that are in it,
that's my own.
It's like
gripe.
Jungle Book to Tailspin.
Yeah, No.
Because the characters in Jungle Book are in Tailspin.
It was Jungle Book into an X-rated movie. It was not Tailspin.
It was and I got a decent
Yeah.
way through Conkers.
Yeah.
I did.
I know.
And it was fun. It was cool. It's just, I'm not gonna lie, it didn't grasp my attention like Perfect Dark. Like, I am committed to Perfect Dark.
No, I knew you liked the style of the game, and that was something, again, like the rare replays that I lent you, it was like, there's a lot of gems in there that I like, even in my list of things, of new challenges like that, there's quite a few games in there that I want you to experience. But Perfect Dark was one that I was kind of saving for, because, again, I know you're a big fan of GoldenEye. And that was the reason why I picked it, because
GoldenEye
it was like
just
it's a
childhood, man. You know what I mean?
But it is a precursor. To
Everybody
what
I
it
knew
is.
had GoldenEye.
All right, so our next segment will be the consoles that we give respect to, but this week we're gonna go to the rejects, to the ones that didn't pave the way, to the ones that failed. They may have good stuff, but they did fail.
See, but what
sadly.
necessarily failed to me might not have failed to you.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a perspective
No,
kind of
and
thing.
there's going to be a lot of systems that we talk about that you may love and you may hate. And there's a lot of love and a lot of hate here.
So that's where you come in and you accent in the comments.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So,
this would bring up a really good interactive conversation.
my first one that I'm going to bring up, because it was I was just reading a little top 15 failed consoles, was the Wii U. And sadly, I love that system, but sadly, I saw the potential that the system could have done.
The build up of the Wii was dramatic.
And not only that,
What was the game that sold it? It was Mario Galaxy.
no, Mario Galaxy was Wii.
Mario Galaxy was the Wii.
Not Wii U. Wii U's
Same
the
shit to me.
Wii. No, it's not. It's
The
the
Wii is
different
a
console.
failure to me. I'm sorry.
No, Wii was success.
I don't fucking care. The
Wii
Wii
was-
is-
Wii-
The Wii was a failure to me.
No,
man.
it
The
wasn't.
only thing that was good for the Wii was fucking was the sports games.
The Wii Sports, and that's what sold the system. And honestly, that was a success because it did sell millions of systems.
But what other games was popular on that?
There were a lot of good games. There was Mario Galaxy. There was the Zelda games.
I
There
played
like
Mario
that.
Galaxy when I got a Wii Mini.
But I'm talking about like games the systems that failed.
Okay, I'm
We consideration of what failed was the description of failing. We did not fail. Did.
No, Wii is successful
Yeah.
commercially wise,
Yeah.
selling wise,
But
console wise.
but that's the thing.
if you go back to the Wii right now, and you started playing it, I guarantee you would think it fucking sucks. It sucks.
But
it's horrible.
but like again, the description of it is failed systems,
Of
and
course,
and
of
that
course.
system did not fail. It did make a lot of money. It was successful. Wii U, on the other hand, should have been successful, and did not be.
It was the
successful.
successor of
The Wii. Yeah, and this was the one that had the tablet controller.
Okay.
That which they could have done so many things with, and they just failed on making games that really did something with that controller. And that honestly, that controller screamed on top of their lungs, Star Fox. That's a
Like
controller.
that game should have been.
You should have fucking abused the shit out of that controller with Star Fox. That could have been your cockpit.
Yeah.
Easily.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. I can visually see it.
They did have some gems. They did have gems. I just recently bought one of the gems that he had, which was Mario 3D World, which was the one with the Mario with the cat suit. That's one that came out on the Wii U that didn't have success because
you say
the
cat
system.
Suit. It's not a cat suit.
It is.
We
No,
talked this
he
out.
actually literally has a cat
A
suit.
cat suit.
It's a
'Cause
cat suit.
The only suits that I've ever seen with Mario is the bear suit, the frog suit, the raccoon suit,
Yeah.
and that was it. That's all I'm savvy to.
This one has a cat
So
suit.
he's like fucking Catman.
He looks like a cat. He's a cat. He's a yellow cat. Mario 3D World. So I just want to show you the cat suit so you know what it is.
See, because but now that's me going on nostalgic of Mario 3 that introduced the real suits and stuff like that. Oh yeah, that's fucking corny as shit.
It was cute though. It was fun.
It's cute, yeah. I mean, Mario's cute in itself.
But
you know?
the game is.
if there's not a
But this-
mascot to video games,
But this game is amazing. It's one of it's the game I've been playing on the Switch lately.
no,
this game is
I
amazing.
actually played that game at a store.
Yeah.
I think it was Target.
Okay.
You know how back in the day, Walmart, you actually used to get to sit there and actually play the games.
Yeah.
They don't do that shit no more.
Not COVID time. They want people at the store.
That was pre-COVID. I ain't seen that shit in fucking forever.
No, I see it in like GameStop and things like that.
Well, GameStop's a different thing because the entire store is dedicated to games.
Yeah, but they also don't want customers in
Walmart used to have that.
The kiosks.
I used to remember people fucking lining up to play like Killer Instinct and shit like that. You know what I mean?
But the sad thing with the Wii U is the fact that one, you couldn't get a replacement for that big controller. So they didn't sell it separate. They didn't sell it separately. Things like that. You could use all the Wii stuff on there.
Did they have a good warranty at this time? No.
So that was the thing that failed. They did have good games, but I think they picked up more traction when they went on the Switch. Because a lot of the games that they made on the Wii U, they made on the Switch, and they got more success.
See, my problem is with Nintendo is I feel like they just bank too much on just re-innovating fucking Mario games.
Hey, Disney.
But you know what I mean?
If you think Nintendo, they think Disney. 100%.
No, it literally is the counterpart to it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But like, I'm recently going out, and I know I'm off topic right now, but I'm recently going out and searching for a Switch. Maybe I'm trying to do it just so I can do challenges better and stuff like that because I want to train a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there at Walmart, I'm sitting at a Target, and it's just 10,000 fucking Mario games, man. It's like, it's just, it's not appetizing.
But I'll tell you one thing: it's not 10,000. There's maybe like 4 Mario games on there.
There's Luigi games. There's Wario games.
Yeah, Luigi has his Mansion game. But I will tell you, the Mario Odyssey and the Mario 3D World are fantastic. I think you will love those games.
It's on my list.
I have never played the game. Mario Odyssey was I never played the game that just made me smile. Like the graphics, the music, the style, everything like that.
Mario 64 did that.
Mario 64 did that for me. I haven't played a Mario game since that did that for me, and that was one of the games that did.
So Odyssey did that.
And it was just fun. It was general. It was nice. It was just like a fun game. And
because I remember watching, it was like Game Informer TV or some shit like that, or whatever it was. It was And then I used to read a lot of Game Informer, and then fucking Mario Galaxy was supposed to be that huge, big fucking thing for the Wii, not just the regular Wii. And then I have a Wii Mini.
Yeah.
And then that was the first game I bought, and I couldn't do fucking shit.
You can't get into
it's hard to downgrade to old school gameplay than it is nowadays.
So I will say Mario Galaxy is ranked highly regarded by fans and like in general.
The game's too fidgety for me.
I have the 3D collection that, remember I told you that they came with the N64 Mario Galaxy and Sunshine.
On the Switch they have a game those 3 together, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I have it. I tried my best to get into Galaxy and I couldn't get into it. It's just too much round shit. It's too much shit. And
it's like Sonic when he goes into the portal. That's sort of like the whole game.
Yeah.
You know, when he goes into the portal and you got to go and get the fucking gems and shit. That's what it reminded me.
So, I will go that. You know what? Let's get more into our topic because we're going to go straight into Nintendo hate into this segment. And we're going like that. But Wii U had a lot of issues, didn't have a lot of games. They did have some particular games that I really enjoyed. But then again, they came out on other consoles that I enjoyed more. So, this was a fail. I will say 100% was a fail. That controller, that tablet controller, was a cool concept because, again, I think that was the creation of the Switch. Without that, I think the Switch wouldn't have been the way it was, because people wanted to take that controller on the go. So it made sense, the Switch being the next console, that it was a half because of that. Because you could play your full game on the controller and not have the TV on. You could have people watch TV and take the controller and play the game. That was a cool. It had a lot of cool concepts.
But once that thing went, it was fucking done, right?
But it had a lot of cool concepts. But then again, mine still works. Mine still works perfectly. My nieces go to my mom's and they play it all the time.
I would snap that thing with my fucking knee. Yeah. It's so bad.
But it was a cool concept. We had a camera, had everything. You could actually do a lot
it was innovative.
It was innovative, but it could have been better.
Yes.
And
it flopped.
And that's why we got the Switch. And thank God we got the Switch for that.
Okay.
So that was number one on this list of things.
So I have one now
Okay.
that I would like to talk about, and it's more of lack of talking about, and it's America's attempt at a console,
Okay.
which is the Jaguar.
Atari Jaguar. Well, it wasn't America.
that's
Atari is a Japanese company.
I understand that, but America really tried to push that fucking thing.
It tried.
I don't see any type of source. Now, I've dove down into the world of learning about the Jaguar. I've never played it. I've actually never seen a console in person.
Okay.
So it's like the unicorn of failed consoles to me.
So
I have no clue about gameplay, about games, about nothing. So to me, being a person who appreciates video games,
yeah.
would name that to me would be the ultimate flop of all. Even though it is so expensive to buy right now,
Yeah.
to find a Jaguar that's less than $300
Incomplete. Yeah.
is unheard of.
So.
This game I've never seen in person.
Okay.
I've seen it like a Game On. Game On has it. Yeah,
I had one.
visually seen it.
I had
But
one.
I've never known a single person on this planet in my almost 35 years of life of anybody who's ever owned it.
So, I had one. I owned one. I was given to me because I was just curious and then like that. It was a stupid trade and things like that. And I ended up cashing in on it.
You being a collector,
But
I'm not even.
yeah. But I also ended up cashing in on it, and I sold it for pretty decent, more than I got what I got it for it. Anyway, I think the one thing that really threw me off about the system was the controller, because it had like 60 fucking buttons. So it had the basic
So it
pad,
was like the ultimate Sega.
and then it
with
had a
like 6
whole
buttons.
bunch of fucking buttons in the middle. And it was something that I didn't really care for. The games didn't look better than Genesis and Super Nintendo, and they were supposed to be 32-bit, and they were not. There was another system during the time that came out while this came out, which is Panasonic 32X. No, 32X. 3DO. Panasonic 3DO. That was trying to do the same exact thing, trying to get into the console war, and failed.
Yeah.
And those are two systems.
Well,
and
you
we
have to have
talked about it.
failures to have winners. you
So those two systems failed, and that'll probably be one I probably had a little less time with because I played. My friend had it, played a little bit of it, wasn't good. The load times were fucking extremely long and shit like that. The Jaguar didn't have good games. The Jaguar didn't have good timing.
Just the name in
Yeah.
itself is
And
whack.
and
It's horrible.
I think the also the Atari failed in the fact that their name wasn't as strong as it used to be.
Man, it died with ET, bro.
Yeah.
It died with ET.
So that was something I will say about the Jaguar. There was not good games on it. There was maybe one space game that I thought was cool, but it was not worth
See,
it.
I'm happy that you have an experience
Yeah.
with it. See, the whole reason why I bring that up as my number one flop is
Yeah.
because I don't know anybody
Yeah.
who ever once said anything good about this fucking thing.
Yeah.
I go to Game On and I talk to Tristan
Mm-hmm.
avidly, and he's like, "Yeah, it's not fucking worth it."
No, it's not worth it.
You know what I mean?
It's not.
It's more of the rarity of actually finding it nowadays
Yeah.
than it is actually like anybody. There ain't nobody ever been like, "Yo, you played that game for Jaguar?" Oh shit, nah, it's fucking trash, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like to me, that is a real flop.
Yeah,
that is a
100%.
genuine. There is no way around that.
And the funny shit is, there was two different systems. They had a Jaguar CD and a regular Jaguar, which they're both very pricey and not worth it.
What time did this come out? Like fucking.
95, 94,
So
95.
we're talking about
Pre-PlayStation.
pre-PlayStation, pre-N64, Sega Saturn time,
Yeah, Saturn just came out on 95.
which is another one on my
Another one.
list
Yeah.
of fucking flops.
I want to talk to one before we go into the Saturn because there's some love I have for the Saturn.
There's only
The
one
Atari.
game I care
Oh,
about.
there's
so.
another Atari game, the Atari system that kind of failed in this sense. It was the Linux.
Never even heard of it.
So, if you talk to our buddy Camacho, he has 2 versions of the system. He's a big fan.
He's an eclectic kind of dude, though.
So our boy
Shouts
Camacho,
out to Camacho, my brother.
yes, Camacho has 2 Atari Linux, and he was very passionate about that. And again, it goes into the childhood, and that was the one he had, and things like that. But Linux was limited on games, limited on battery life, limited on a lot of things that just didn't work and didn't help. Yeah, there was a lot of problems with that Linux system, and as much as we'll say with the Game Gear, but surprisingly, the Game Gear was successful for what it was.
Except for the excessive use of battery.
This one had the same problem. It had the same amount of batteries.
Fucking 8 batteries, fucking nothing, right?
Yeah. So that was another failed system that I could come to mind. I think I'm gonna go with the failed systems that I had hands on. I'm not gonna go with just generally.
See, my thing is, it failed if the people around me did not give a shit about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, we're in a society of, of materialism, and what's popular reigns supreme all day. You know what I mean? Everybody had Nintendo. Everybody had Super Nintendo. Everybody had Sega. Everybody had PlayStation 2, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? If you didn't have these things,
then
it's not successful in my book. I knew one person, and I'm bringing this next one up.
Yeah, okay.
Is Dreamcast. Now, Dreamcast, I understand what Dreamcast did bring to the console world. Number one thing to me that made the Dreamcast suck. I only played the Dreamcast once, and I own it. And I bought it and never opened the motherfucker up.
You should.
The only thing to me that made the Dreamcast good is it ushered in the 2K games.
So
we had Tony Hawk on there. We had a couple of other Sonic games and stuff like that. I played one fucking Wave Runner game. I forget what the hell it was called. That's the only game I've ever played on.
I'm gonna I have a lot of love for Dreamcast. Dreamcast is probably one of my favorite consoles that I owned.
That shit was a flop, though.
It was a flop, 100%. It was a flop.
Wasn't it supposed to be called Nintendo Dolphin?
No, that was Sony. That was PlayStation 1.
For some reason, my whole life, I always thought Dreamcast was originally supposed to be called Nintendo Dolphin.
No, so Nintendo was
Sega is Dreamcast, obviously.
So Nintendo was supposed to see. So Sony was developing Nintendo's CD system.
Okay, so that's the reason why.
And that was yeah. So Dreamcast. The thing about Dreamcast, one I personally love is the fact that I was always a big Sega fan.
You like the controller though?
I like the controller a lot.
The controller was fucking trash.
It was amazing for fighting games.
Like Tekken.
No,
I've seen.
So the best
Tekken games on there.
No, Dreamcast didn't have Tekken.
You sure?
It had Soul Calibur.
Okay, yeah.
Soul Calibur was fantastic on there.
That's probably their number one game.
Marvel's Capcom 2 was amazing on there. So this is the thing. So I'm gonna defend a little bit the Sega, the Dreamcast, just because it's still a flop because the way it was sold and the fact that at the time it came out way too early. Honestly, if it had developed a little, like maybe an extra year more and came out simultaneously with PS5
with a different remote. I think the remote.
I had an amazing memory card too. You could take your memory.
The remote is so dumb.
But your memory card you could take with you and play.
I understand that. Well, that is probably pretty cool because.
But the Dreamcast,
you don't really get that too much. So
one thing I'll give Dreamcast had amazing arcade ports. They had an amazing Street Fighter 3. They had an amazing Marvel's Capcom. They had an amazing Marvel's Capcom 1 and 2. They had some really good games with Sonic Adventure. They had Soul Calibur. They had Crazy Taxi. They have Jet Set Radio.
Crazy Taxi was on every console.
Later.
Yeah,
not
later.
Dreamcast.
I mean, more popular with probably PlayStation 2.
No, Dreamcast.
I'm just saying. I played Crazy Taxi on PlayStation 2.
Because PS2 did not get the Crazy Taxi version that Dreamcast had.
Okay.
Dreamcast got the original arcade version.
So like, I went out and I bought recently from Game On. Shouts out to Game On. I bought a Dreamcast just for the fact of me never ever.
Yeah.
So I bought 3 games. The first 3 games that I bought was the first 2K with Allen Iverson on the cover. which is the game that ushered in
NBA?
probably the new generation of basketball games.
Yeah, 100%.
So I will give the Dreamcast one solid point of transitioning
So, again,
what a sports game is supposed to be like.
I
I bought that. I bought NHL.
I think.
And then I bought Tony Hawk.
So what really hurt, honestly, what I'll say, what really hurt Dreamcast was the fact that you was able to bootleg easily on the Dreamcast. I think that's what really hurt that system.
This is the time where it was.
Dude,
just
I used to buy
happening,
games for $2.
It's dope.
I used to, I
I
had.
would play Dreamcast a lot more if I had
Dude,
access like that.
That was the problem, is the fact that there was a lot of pirating on the Dreamcast. You could download, it came to a point that the first time you had bootleg games, you had to put a disc in before you play. It came to a point that you didn't even need that. You could just play the game and just rip it on a fucking CD. And I think that's what killed the Dreamcast. But Dreamcast did had a handful of amazing games. Dreamcast was a system of its time, like a system ahead of its time, because it did have online. It was the first to have online.
I got what it was trying to do.
Honestly, I feel like if they had more time to develop.
I feel like they dumped it very fast.
No, they did. 100%. They gave up really fast. And honestly, I feel like it could, if they would have put the effort, they could have battled.
Fought with PlayStation.
They could have battled PlayStation for maybe 1 or 2 years.
And then PlayStation ultimately succeeded.
Because it just had more power. But I feel like it still had a chance to fight 2 more years, just because they had quality in games. They had a really good quality on games and things like that. And then the memory card was unique itself. It was like a little fucking video memory card that you could actually play a game on it. Like Sonic Adventure, they had these chaos things that you raise and stuff. And it was like a Tamagotchi. You put them in the little.
Tamagotchi.
So you put them in a little memory card and you play a game on it on the go. Like you actually play a little game on the memory card. It had a unique memory card with that. It had a lot. I think it was strong with fighting games. Amazing fighting games on there. It was really strong with the NBA, the sport games. I think the sport games were nothing. There was nothing better than the sport games they had on there. And they had like World Series Baseball. They had NBA 2K,
they had
NFL 2K,
All-Star with Derek Jeter
NHL,
and stuff.
NHL 2K. No, they didn't have All Stars.
No, they do. Bro.
No.
I saw it at Game
No, it was MLB.
With
It was
Derek
World
Jeter
Series
on the
Baseball.
cover?
No, World Series Baseball 2K.
But Derek Jeter was on the cover.
No, he wasn't on the cover until it went to 360 and PS2.
I'm thinking of N64 though.
Oh yeah, it was N64.
N64, yeah.
Because I think the first cover athlete of World Series Baseball was Pedro Martinez.
Hot pitch
It was
or some shit
World
like
Series
that.
Baseball. It was World Series Baseball 2K, and I think it was Pedro Martinez on the cover. And then you had Randy Moss on the covers of 2K, 2K1, 2K3, and then Alan Allison and things like that. But again, I have a lot of love for the Dreamcast. It was a failed system because they gave up too fast.
It's a fact. It failed.
No, it failed because it gave up too fast. Like honestly, I feel like they gave up as less than it was. Like honestly, I think the system was so good.
Well, what's your next console?
So to take a Dreamcast again, I'll have a lot of love for it. So I won't say in my heart it was failed, but it did fail because it did not keep up with the. It couldn't keep up with the PS2 because at the time, PS2 in the beginning of stages in the first 2 years wasn't a great console. It took about 2-3 years for it to gain control and start actually having good games and everything like that. So I feel like Dreamcast could have capitalized on those 2 years instead of just giving up, and they just plainly given up. But there are amazing games on there: Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Power Stone 1 and 2, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. You have there's a lot of cool stuff. Soul Calibur, Marvel's Capcom 2, Marvel's Capcom 1, Street Fighter Third Strike, Street Fighter Double Impact. There's a lot of handful of games that were just great in that console. Shenmue.
I did buy the console to actually try.
Shenmue was a fantastic game on it, and that was something that could have really sold.
I mean, for any collector in the world,
and
you have to have.
Honestly, and also I think they brought in apparel for controllers. They were like the first to do it because they had a bass fishing. And they actually had, the fishing rod.
I actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they actually were the first ones to actually have the fishing rod controller.
I feel like now, thinking about it, obviously 100%, I'm not wrong. It failed.
Yeah.
It's probably the most misunderstood console.
Again, I feel like
it didn't give a chance.
What I just said was it gave up too fast.
Yeah.
I feel like it had one or two more years
I felt
left.
like that was the dwindling days of Sega.
Because honestly,
Sega was getting fucking smacked.
But the sad thing is, PlayStation 2 wasn't that great at the time.
PlayStation 2 is fucking one of the
PlayStation 2 gained momentum after the third year of the console. If you look at the first 2 years, it did not do well because they had lack of systems.
See, I didn't have it, and I only played it at other people's
No,
houses.
but I'm stating facts of when this console came out.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2, when it first came out, didn't have a lot of games. They didn't have a lot of games that people wanted to play.
Didn't have the accent of what
you didn't get.
360 did.
You didn't get Metal Gear Solid 2 until like the third year.
Yeah.
You didn't get the Final Fantasy.
Metal Gear Solid 3 is probably one of the greatest games.
And that's like 5 years into the system.
So that makes sense.
So the first 2 years, like again, Sega could have kept
Didn't
up.
Sega Dreamcast have like an Elvira game? I'm pretty sure they had like a.
No.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I think I remember seeing something of it. It was something stupid.
Honestly, if there was something stupid like that, I would have had it.
I'm not denying that. It just came across my head like I remember.
No, seriously.
Something a game
the fact that I was one of the reasons because I was buying the bootleg
you were
games.
trying to keep this shit alive.
No, I wasn't because I was buying the bootleg games.
You were part of the problem.
I was part of the problem. Because dude, this is where I played fucking Pepsi Man.
Fucking asshole.
I played Pepsi Man on that shit.
Single-handedly flopped the whole system.
But like I was able to play like a lot of Japanese games.
It makes sense because the whole bootleg era started coming in hardcore.
Yeah, because PlayStation 1
and the advancement in computer technology and stuff like that.
Yeah. So and then the reason why PS2 had the blue. Remember the blue back?
Yeah.
The disc had the blue back is because of the bootlegs. They couldn't bootleg that.
Man, we should I think now going back. Should have dedicated a whole cast to fucking just Dreamcast. You know what I mean?
No, we'll get there.
But honestly, it is the quintessential real thing that was hyped up. I remember the hype of this.
I feel Sega Dreamcast is one of the systems that failed, but it had. It's kind of like those. It's kind of like those cult classic movies in that sense. Like Dreamcast
films from back in the day.
Dreamcast is a cult classic. Dreamcast has a fan base that loves that system, and I'm one of them that love that system.
I just feel like it never matched what the potential could have been. You know what I mean?
I feel like again, like you said,
gave up.
Right? No, 100%. Like I feel like it gave up too fast, and honestly, it had.
I remember like a year or two. It was popping, and it was
like, 100%. They gave up really fast. They gave up. You know what's funny, and this is something that I know for a fact. It gave up really fast, and they had maybe 2 of the top selling games of the same year, which is bad.
How is that even possible?
It's redundant in a way, but it was true. So Jet Set Radio was one of the top selling games of that year, and then Crazy Taxi was another game top.
Crazy Taxi still to this day.
Yeah.
It's a fucking awesome.
So they came out. Those 2 games came out the same year. They were the top 2 selling games of that year within the top 10, and they gave up. They already They were already giving up on the console since then, because that's when 2K, the 2K Sports, they sold to ESPN. So ESPN 2K4, NBA 2K4, NFL 2K4, and all those stuff went to ESPN. And ESPN Sports 2K this, 2K that, 2K that, and then it went back to NBA 2K and things like that in 2005. That's when they sold the games for like $20. But yeah, I feel like it gave up too fast. But I feel like it was an underrated system. I think that it was out of all the systems.
I think the pressure of the time.
I think all the systems we're going to be talking about, this one would be.
I mean, what has Sega done since then?
Well, they make games.
Yeah, but
they're just a game. Honestly, no, Sega's killing it. Yo, Sega's killing it. Yeah, in games, they killing it.
Okay, but now we're talking about
they're not making
company.
They're not doing consoles no more.
Who is our childhood?
Yeah. So after
the Sega Genesis is, in my eyes, just as popular as the NES.
So after the Dreamcast, they completely stopped making consoles, and they focus on games. And by their game library, they still have a fantastic game library. One of my favorite games, Yakuza, the whole series of Yakuza, is from Sega.
You're still playing it. Yeah.
It's still Sega, and I love those series.
And I have no clue about any
Sonic's
of that
still
stuff.
strong. Sonic is still a strong
Sonic
character.
will never go away. Sonic is Mario.
And then they also have like Persona, which is a really popular RPG.
When a video game transpires into a fucking television show, it's a success.
So, talking about Dreamcast and all the love I have for it, there's another Sega system that had, I will say, that didn't do well, 100% over here, and that is the Sega Saturn.
I only played 2 games on the Sega Saturn. It was at my friend. He at the time was my friend. He actually, obviously, we know your childhood friends as high school and time goes by. Time in high school goes by, people change, and I ain't gonna drop his name. I ain't gonna discredit him because he's doing very well in life, and I want him to keep succeeding. But he was the only person who I knew that had the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
So the number 1 game that we played was Big Hurt Baseball.
Big Hurt was fun.
It was the first time where I genuinely felt like the home run derby actually was a home run derby.
Yeah.
Not like Bo Jackson's baseball,
Yeah.
which they had all that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Very pixelated, very, that's old school Nintendo. Sega Saturn is not cosmetically a nice looking system.
It's a brick.
Exactly.
It looks like a VCR.
And I think that's sort of what aided to the failure of it. Now we're succeeding. We are the successors of Sega CD at this time. So Sega CD is what ushered in probably the popular-esque of transitioning games into disc form.
CD, yeah.
You know what I mean? Sega Saturn missed its mark. Big Hurt, Frank Thomas whiffed on it.
Yeah.
And there was only one other game, and it was a sniper game.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called. But that's the only games that that's how it's a flop to me.
Yeah,
It's
so
because nobody fucking
I'll
had it.
admit Sega Saturn. I'll say it directly. Sega Saturn
And
was
you know
a flop.
that console is still, it's $200
No,
plus.
it's right now. So the reason why Sega Saturn is still a popular console in a way is the fact that you gotta buy the RAM card. If you don't buy the RAM card, it's not worth it. The RAM card made like X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, arcade playable. Like it played like the arcade. Without that RAM card, you can't have that. So you need that additional thing. It was a better import system than it was an American system. The problem with that was they got desperate. The system got desperate. They didn't have any good games. The games that they had good were also on PlayStation.
Like what? What games?
No, but they also had it on PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
So they shared games. They had good
They
games.
were cross-platform,
They
but
had
not
good.
like, not like
So like.
they had the rights to produce the game.
So they had good games. Like honestly, Daytona USA, amazing game, very good, great,
any type of racing game is good.
very successful arcade racing game. Virtual Cop 1 and 2, amazing flight.
Virtual Cop, that's what I remember.
Flash gun games, amazing games, very fun, very fast, very fun, very gifted. Virtual Fighter 2, amazing fighting game. The problem with that system was the fact that there's nothing else.
Can you name like
Panzer Dragon was a very popular game on there. Was a very fun game. But again, after that, there's not a lot of games that really will tickle a mind of an American video game fan. There was a lot of games that were more Japanese based that should have been.
But what you said in the beginning of this, it wasn't successful.
It's
here.
not a successful American system, but it's a successful Japanese system.
But it's like it's that elephant in the room, man.
Yeah.
It really is because the fact that I've seen so less of this console, it makes me want it more.
It's crazy because the game collection itself, a lot of people love. Like,
and I've never
it's
actually,
a highly fun
any
collection.
resale of this console. I've never actually seen it outside of the box.
Yeah.
So anybody who actually owned it kept the box.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people threw the box out because they played it throughout time and
I
just accumulated space.
I think I still have my Sega Saturn in my mom's house. I think I still have it.
It is one thing a game on that I eye all the time. It's sitting on the floor in the corner.
You need you have a box TV.
Yes, I
So
have a retro video
you
game
do need
corner
that.
in my,
So you
in my
do
bedroom.
need that for Virtual Cop.
I have the
1
best.
and 2.
I got like a 20. No, it's like a 32-inch
Yeah.
boob tube
Yeah.
RCA television.
To play the Virtual Cop.
That's the best way you
Yeah.
could play retro video games.
Well, that's the best way you could only way you can play Virtual Cop
okay.
and that stuff. But Sega
But
Saturn
It
has
was just bland. It was like charcoal gray. It's fucking. It was just. There was
was
nothing appealing about it. There
was
was
black.
nothing that shined. There was nothing that stood out over what was in the world already. I preferred to play regular Sega over Sega Saturn. Any
no,
day.
because again, the games that you expected to be good weren't good. Like Sonic was terrible on that system. Sonic did not have
And
a good
that's
game
a
on that
rare
system.
thing to happen. How can you fail a Sonic game?
They failed 3 Sonic games on that
Well,
system.
you played Sonic Pinball, so you know.
Yeah, they failed. Sonic 3D Blast was terrible. Sonic R was terrible. Sonic the Fighter was fucking terrible, and that was a Japanese import. They did have some weird ones that I enjoyed. There was one called Fighter Mega Mix that they kind of combined all the Sega fighting games into one game, and you even had like characters from other games into it. Like they had the Daytona car as a fighter, and he punched you with tires. So that was a cool little concept. They had this fighting game called Fighting Vipers, which was pretty cool. Again, they had some gems, but it was not enough to own that system.
Once again,
As you talk about baseball, World Series Baseball is probably one of their best games. A lot of people don't know.
you can't go wrong with the format of baseball.
So honestly,
It's very cut and dry.
so World Series Baseball by Sega was probably some of the best baseball games I ever played.
You're not wrong about that.
And
100%.
even on Sega Genesis, it was probably one. It was the first one that had like a first-person batting view and shit. But it was there was a lot of things on that system that could have been better. But again, I feel like it was a better import system than a American system. As in,
Like they tried to make it popular.
There's a
again.
lot more import games that you will want on the system than their American.
Now,
games.
did they make it like because it's more Japanese oriented? Is there like a separate console that is more compatible with those games, or the Sega Saturn played it all? You know how like Nintendo 64, like there's the Japanese games that
Yeah.
you never really see.
Yeah.
They sort of need like a certain kind of play.
So you
it.
needed the Japanese Sega console. You could get they had a card a chip that you could put in, but you had to get the Japanese console, which was like the gray one.
See, what I'm loving about this cast right now is I am the novice when it comes to this, where you are a person who are experienced
No, I have
with
I have,
them, and
yeah.
so you are enlightening me
Yeah.
as much as it's still a failed, no matter what, it's
Yeah,
a failed console. But now you're intriguing me more
Yeah.
to go and get
Yeah.
it, because I've been eyeing that one at Game On for fucking
I
ever.
will say if Tristan has a RAM card, if he has a RAM card that you could use for that system. The only thing is, my problem with you getting that system is the fact that the games I'm going to tell you to get, they're all import games.
See, but the thing is, I'm probably
And
going to
they're
get the
pricey.
system,
And
and,
they're
I'm going to
pricey as
play
shit.
Big Hurt fucking
yeah,
baseball.
and they're pricey as shit. Like, I will tell you to get X-Men vs. Street Fighter. I'll tell you to get Marvel Street Fighter because they're arcade-like games. They're fucking dope. But the price of those games and the price tag is not worth it.
But it's the rarity of it being
Yeah.
around still.
Yeah.
Who
But
do you
again-
know who has a Sega Saturn?
But Sega Saturn, like I said, you need a RAM card. You need to get the RAM card. If you can't get a RAM card, then it's not worth the system because it also made the system faster.
So, now the consensus...
That was the little. So Sega Saturn had the CD drive and it had a little slot.
Yeah.
The slot was for the RAM card.
Okay, it's in the front.
In the back.
In the back?
Yeah.
Because I remember the structure of...
It's a big square.
It's a big square, but
disc in
it
the
sort of
middle.
had like the attributes of like a PlayStation in the front, where
Yeah.
you can pop a memory card in the front, right? I'm pretty sure.
It had its own external memory, but yeah, like you could put
You can
something
pop
in front.
something
yeah.
in the front.
And in the back, it had a hole,
Man,
and that's where you put the RAM card.
Like you said, it's a brick.
Yeah.
You know what I
It was
mean?
a
Like sink that shit to the bottom of the ocean. You know what I mean?
Saturn, yeah, there's very hard to tell what games are on. They had a few gems on there, but again, a lot of the games that there were gems, you could get on PlayStation as well.
I mean, I'll bring up one last one, and then we'll continue.
Oh,
on.
I have one more. I have one. I have one more.
I mean, I'm just gonna just throw it out. And we discussed this before the cast.
Yeah.
It's more of accessories than it is actually a console. But to me, it is a console because they made separate games only specifically for this, which is the 32X for Sega. And I feel like Sega is getting such the bad rap because everything that we say besides the Wii, Jaguar, you know what I mean, like.
You gotta
the
give
32X.
I feel like you gotta give.
They tried.
I feel like you gotta give Sega credit for trying
to be diverse.
Yeah, they tried. You know they tried things.
I get that, and I give them fucking credit all day.
Yeah.
You started off with the Sega CD, right? I've never played a Sega CD game in my life. You know
I played 3.
Never played a single one, but it looked cool to have the mount.
Yeah. Where
you popped your 3rd generation Sega, not the original switch button up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which to me is like the original 32-bit, whatever. You know what I mean? And then it got pushed down. So then you have this whole big thing. So basically, Sega became like a Transformer, sort of, in a way.
Yeah.
Where you can, or like a Megazord for like Power Rangers or whatever. So you have the Sega Genesis itself that sits down on the mount, that has the Sega CD onto the side, that adds the Sega 32X on top of it. It turns into like a big-ass Megazord. Fucking Voltron. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what did it really produce?
So,
now, the 32X is the next flop to me, but it is technically an accessory.
So technically, they will consider it with Sega Genesis an accessory. But I agree because you said the way you stated the way you stated it did have its own library games. So I feel like it should get the flag of a console because it did fail in that sense. And 32X, there's 2 games that I remember playing that I enjoyed. It was Doom.
One is Doom, and it's the best version.
And
of
then
Doom.
Knuckles Chaotic.
Well, Doom on PC will always be better.
Yeah.
Quake on PC will always be better.
Yeah.
We know PC is actually more superior than consoles just because of processors and the way computers work.
Yeah.
And hence the reason why consoles of nowadays are basically computers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all about the processing. Doom worked best on a 32X.
Yeah.
I have it for Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most pixelated fucking thing in the world, no matter what television you're on.
Yeah.
Just because it's fucking coded red as the console fucking cartridge itself does not make it a good game.
Yeah.
The 32X, I was always like my friend Billy is the only person who I knew that had the 32X. You want to know what intrigued me of it was the Sega sleeve.
Yeah.
That said 32X on the side. It made it pop. It made it feel like, oh, I'm getting like, it's like a standard television to an HD television.
Yeah.
It's a VCR with a fucking external fucking thing that made picture quality better. It's not that. It is literally a thing that pops in the center that actually fried a lot of Segas.
Yeah.
And that's what made it fail. A lot of people think that it's because of the quality of games. It's not. It fried your fucking Sega.
Because
it's too much energy.
You gotta
too
realize
much power.
you had 3 power sources through your Sega Genesis.
And it's not light. It wasn't like a light thing.
No, but you also had 3 power sources because you had to plug the 32X in.
And then you pop it in like you did a Sega game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you break your Sega.
Yeah. So I remember one thing with the 32X, it had like a metal piece that you put in your system. If you had the older system, the one with the headphone jack, if you had that one, it had a metal piece that you had to put in for it to fit. Then, if you actually go with the original stuff, the Sega CD was underneath the Sega Genesis.
But it had a carrying area, and then
the original one was underneath.
Oh yeah, no, it was like
remember I told you they had the jack for that.
But you had to sit on top of it.
It was on top, and then the Sega.
And then they realized
it was
that
a
was
tower.
A fucking floor.
And then Sega CD, the new Sega Genesis version 2 had the Sega CD on the side, and then they added on to it. I felt like it was just too much shit. Like honestly,
it was a clusterfuck, bro. It was a Megazord.
Yeah, a Megazord that plugged into like 4 different things, and then that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
The last one I'll say is Virtual Boy.
Oh man, see the thing is with Virtual Boy. I remember playing it one time, and I was played the tennis game.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit! Like for the time, I was like, wow, like something on my head. And it's like,
Yeah.
it makes you in a different world. But in all reality, it wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the fucking what is it called nowadays? What's the new thing that goes over your head?
The virtual set?
Yeah, well, there's a thing for Oculus.
Yeah, Oculus, yeah.
You know what I mean? I played the Oculus before, and it's fucking... Now, this is the beginning of that. I remember there used to be a hand glove that went with the Virtual Boy, right?
So, Virtual Boy was a console that kind of stood like a tripod, and then it had a controller underneath the tripod, and you had to put your face in it in order to play.
Oh, yeah.
And it was all infrared, which will fuck up your eyes after a while of playing. That game...
What was the spectacle things when you look into it?
It was two things that you put in your face. And
but I remember there was something that you put on your head at one point in time.
No.
But there was something...
Maybe
like
something
that.
else, but it was not the Virtual Boy.
It wasn't Virtual Boy.
Virtual Boy was a tripod with that, and then the controller underneath.
You look into it, and...
It had... it didn't have good games at all. Everything was infrared, which will fuck your eyes up if you play more than an hour of play. It was very uncomfortable. It was very just in general like Nintendo. I thought was like, let's try it, see where it goes. It didn't do good. That was a 100% flop.
See, I remember my cousin Johnny had that.
Yeah.
And that's where I played tennis.
Yeah.
So like it was cool for its time, but
I don't even think it was cool.
You just got fucking bored of it.
Yeah.
It was like it wasn't even that savvy of anything. It didn't even look good.
No, it didn't look good.
You know what I mean?
So that would be the last one I'll say is Virtual Boy because it was terrible, and then the fact that it was just very uncomfortable. It was not a console you could play long term. It was not a console you could play like a game long term because that fucking fuck with your eyes after a while.
Consider it a console. I feel like it's one of those fucking handheld things that you buy at fucking Target now.
Wait, you're gonna walk around with a fucking big ass tripod?
Well, no, obviously not. But
anyway, yeah. So those are some of our systems that we feel that failed.
It's not everyone that failed, but
no, there's a
the
lot.
ones that most accented with us, and it's mostly because of lack of people. For me. Actually had
the last thing I will say was Neo Geo. It was just the fact that Neo Geo was pricey as fuck.
I mean, I was gonna say Nomad because the Nomad you actually pop a full
Nomad
physical game.
Surprisingly, Nomad was successful. It's just that it was during the dead time of Sega.
Man, Nomad is cool of the fact that you can take your home.
It was Sega Genesis, yeah.
And you can take it, and that thing is still worth $500, $600 right now because nobody kept that shit.
Nomad was cool. I like the Nomad.
But it's a failed system.
I don't think that failed.
It wouldn't be a system. It's a handheld. Would a handheld be considered a system?
I will consider it along with the Sega Genesis because it sold like a Sega Genesis.
No, like Game Gear.
The only reason why it came out towards the end of the cycle, and I think that's the reason why it didn't.
They just pushed something.
It wasn't
out.
Successful. I honestly feel like if it came out during the heyday of Sega Genesis, it would have been the shit.
When the third generation Sega came out, that just dropped.
Yeah.
So you can actually have a walk around, and you can play Sonic and Tails.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, that would have been amazing. All right. We are done with our topic.
Showcase.
We are hour into this cast, so we're gonna go our showcase of games, and then we're gonna go to the new challenge. So, what's your showcase this week?
All right. Now, I had a toss-up between two things. I will mention both of them, but I will accent more on one.
Okay.
The one that didn't make the cut is recently I was just inside Walmart.
I think the one that you said did not make a cut should be a topic for another show.
Another day?
Yeah.
Okay. So the one that makes the cut today is Fight Night Round 3.
Okay. Respect that.
Fight Night Round 3 for Xbox 360.
I really like that game.
It is probably the most competitive game that me and my friends have ever played.
Okay.
Now, I've mentioned the Wii Sports. Now, Wii Sports was a family thing. Like, it brought people together and hung out. Fight Night was like, you better come correct, motherfucker. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, I am undefeated amongst my friends.
Yeah.
A lot of people will deny it and say like, no, he beat you. No, motherfucker, I have never lost. I've lost in the beginning when I first learned how to play. But there has not... Actually, no. I retract that statement. Shouts out to my boy Leo. I beat him and he beat me. But that game right there, I'm not really big into... I'm a story guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to play fucking competitive shit because like I'm a competitive person. So it's like I don't want to be angry at my friend for beating the shit out of me. But I fucking dominated motherfuckers in this game. And this game was the first one. Now, obviously, we have a lot of fight nights afterwards. We have the Mike Tyson one. We have the Ali one. We got the Legends. We got, where... I'm talking about when you press the button and not the joystick. You know what I mean? I used to play fucking Frazier all the time.
Yeah.
Anybody that I played... knocked them the fuck out because it's all about the counter. It's all about having the longevity to be able to dodge the fights. Now the thing is with this game is that it brought the aspect of fighting too. So this is pre-UFC games. This is after Tekken and all that.
No, it had not Fight Night Round 3 was the first. First next gen.
That's one with Bernard Hopkins on the... No, Roy Jones Jr.
No, it was Oscar De La Hoya.
On Fight Night Round 3?
100%.
You sure? I mean, I got my phone.
100%.
So Fight Night Round 4 was Roy Jones Jr.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this game, I swear, everybody who stepped up to me fell.
Yeah.
And I have an ongoing thing with my boy Pat right now. Shouts out to my Pat. To my boy Patrick Longpants. He keeps challenging me now. Yeah, no, you're 100% correct. He just showed me the picture, ladies and gentlemen. It was just I understood how to maneuver.
Yeah.
It was patience. It wasn't like don't get overly aggressive. You know what I mean? I didn't do like no story mode. I was just straight. I will fuck you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that to me is important because that was the boxing game that led up to the greater ones. You know what I mean? It's like up to this point we've had boxing games, but that was the one that really changed the feel of it.
I actually think that was what led to a great game because Round 4 and Champions wasn't that great. I think Round 3 was the best game they did, and then
Round 3 was the best boxing game ever.
100%. And then you had Knockout Kings before that. There were Knockout Kings, and then it went to Fight Night, and then Fight Night Round 3 was, I think, it was unique. It was, I think it was EA Chicago that did it. So those are the makers of NBA Street and Def Jam Vendetta.
So listen. For everybody out there in podcast land right now, I rap. I'm a rapper. You know what I mean? About 9 years ago, I shot a music video that was based out of Ronkonkoma on Long Island at a boxing gym.
Yeah.
So, during the course of shooting for the 2 days in the boxing gym, a week or 2 weeks later, I got a cut of my music video.
Yeah.
Right? And then I turned to him like, you want to know what would be dope? Is if you had that... when you're about to get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then cut to an entire scene of just different scenes of me with that sound in the background, with that fight night feel.
Yeah.
So it literally transpired from a video game to an actual thing for me to be like an artist of. And stuff like that. It was so dope. Fight Night Round 3 will always be, if you can fight in that game, I will give you respect.
Yeah.
Fuck every other game. If you can fight in that game, I will show you respect.
Okay.
Any other shit, fuck you. You ain't shit.
Yeah.
You want to talk tough? Come and see me in Fight Night Round 3. And I will say that right now, and I will say that to everybody in podcast land. You want to see me in fucking Fight Night? Come holler at me. And
which version? 360 or the last one?
I mean, I played both.
I think
but it was
360
Xbox
had the
360
360 had
that
the
was
shortest
more
version.
of.
Yeah.
I think 360 at the time had the better graphics.
It was the first
for
game. It was one of the first games too.
You know what I mean? Like I thought it like. And then,
Hey,
and
you
then,
could
it,
be the
went,
Burger
and then it
King.
also went to PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 came out with a version of it,
and you
and
could
we
be
were
the
playing
Burger
that
King.
for a little bit. But I will shout out, I'm not a hater.
Yeah.
Not a hater. Leo, you did beat me, but I whooped your fucking ass right after that. My boy Ike, who is a radio DJ for Street FM on Long Island, Stony Brook radio station. He's been there for fucking 15 years. He's a fucking mogul over there. Mm-hmm. And he was supposed to be the GOAT. I destroyed him.
Nice.
I destroyed everybody. I've never been this passionate about a beat 'em up fucking game.
You might have to get the game again.
I will beat the shit out of anybody.
Do you own the game still?
No. And the reason why is because I don't want to do it to people, man. Like my boy Pat, and I love him for this because there's not a month that goes by he's like, you didn't get the game?
I feel like you need to get a 360 in that game again.
I have a 360.
So I guess you need to get the game.
I will challenge anybody on this planet.
I feel like you're talking mad shit,
but I back that shit up, bro.
But I feel like
I don't talk because I have lips.
I feel like you need to get practice on the game again because now you're gonna have people coming for you.
Listen, man, I'm with it. I'm with it. But that
I respect that game.
That is my showcase game.
I was gonna do one, and I just thought about another that we have not done yet, and just in general, like I actually enjoy these games, and they just announced 2 brand new ones coming out soon, which will be Pokemon.
But like Ruby, like the handheld,
so
like the Game Boy
I will
one?
start.
Or like the Stadium for.
My personal favorite was Pokemon Yellow. That was my personal favorite. That was the one I took the most time on, things like that. But in general, Pokemon, the RPG game of the system.
Not like the handheld Game Boy one.
No, the Game
like
Boy.
Zelda.
No.
It's literally like Zelda.
Yeah, 100%. The
like
RPG. Zelda. So it's our Pokemon RPG. They just announced Crystal and Pearl. No. Emerald and Pearl coming out remastered for the Switch. So I'll say those games because they're fun.
I'm not really savvy in that world too much. I'm not the biggest Pokemon person, but I did play the Ruby for Game Boy Advance.
Ruby was fun,
and I beat it.
Yeah, I love the games.
I actually beat that game, and I never beat Zelda.
I think those games are fun. Those games are really time consuming, but they're great for the price they are. The fact that they're making the remasters, that's the reason why I kind of thought about it right now, is the fact that those are games that are very popular, and the remasters I'm actually looking forward to. Even Jackie is looking forward to it, because so now I might have to get Shiny Pearl and Emerald, because then she'll have one, I have one, and we'll play. But Pokemon is a juggernaut of its own, like from the card games to the RPGs
just the
to
name Pokemon itself.
And Nintendo's just like, yeah.
There is no decline in sight when it comes to Pokemon.
And Nintendo's just banking everything up. So Pokemon would be my respect game of this week.
I respect it.
Last but not least,
on to the
challenge.
What do you got for me?
So last week I gave you Perfect Dark,
which I will finish.
So I'm going to give you a choice of 3. One is a PS2 game. The other 2 are on that replay.
I'm going to go to the PS2 already because I want to. Okay. I have the T2 All Silver Mini PlayStation 2.
I want you to play Ratchet and Clank.
Never played it before.
It's one of my favorite.
Do you have it?
I don't have it.
So on Saturday, when we go to Game On, I will go and buy that game.
So there's 2 versions you could play. I'll give you credit for the second version. They do have a PS4 version that if you are a PlayStation Plus member, it's free. So I will say you could play the remastered one or play the original one. It's up to you.
What were the other games before?
Both on the Rare Replay. I will say Battletoads, the arcade game.
I already started that game. I'm halfway through that fucking game.
Of the arcade game, and you grab the
I'm already halfway through that because I saw Battletoads on it.
Yeah.
When you first gave me the rare replay,
Yeah.
that's the first thing I popped on.
So they had Battletoads original, and then they had the arcade.
Yes.
The other one was Banjo-Kazooie.
I'll do Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank, okay. So Ratchet and Clank will be your challenge. Ratchet and Clank it's a unique game. It has a lot of fun guns. It's a very fun storyline.
Well, I don't know anything about it, so
Yeah.
I will take that because I want to go off of. I want to go back to the actual physical console feel. Be back on my boob tube. You know what I mean?
So you have two choices. They do have a remaster on PS4 that you could easily download. I think if you bought
I don't have access to my PS4 because it's in my living room.
So your best
I'm gonna
bet.
get the original.
Yeah, so you get the original.
So
It might not be that expensive.
Challenge accepted.
So Ratchet and Clank is yours.
So I'm going straight NES for you.
Okay.
But I wish we had a camera for this because I brought them with me.
Okay.
So your options for today. Now I'm going into my my bag of mystery.
Yeah.
Right. First game that I pull out is the game that I played so much as a kid,
Yeah.
and I bought it specifically because when I was punished as a child, which I was punished a lot as a kid, when I was offered punishment, I played, and I put thought into these.
Yeah.
First game, if you see, is Bubble Bobble
Bubble. I actually love that game.
for NES. I love this game. It is the quintessential just bullshit game. It is like there's nothing to it. There's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
Just destroy the fucking ghost. Just destroy the beasts. Grab every emerald that you can fucking get and get through every fucking
I love
level.
Bubble.
It's hard as shit. It's so hard.
I've finished that game. I love that game. That game is fun. I love Bubble Bobble.
Back into the bag of mysteries.
All right.
Is a game that I presented to you last month.
Okay.
Which is The Karate Kid.
Karate Kid.
In the whole world of the whole Cobra Kai
Yeah.
feel, this is another game
Yeah.
that my cousin Richie, who owned this game,
Yeah.
we have never beat it, both me and him.
Okay.
We couldn't even catch a fly with the chopsticks. So I wanted to bring this back
Yeah.
from the last chance of, the last challenge thing. The other one is from me and
Yeah.
Tristan,
Okay.
because I talked to Tristan about this
Yeah.
specifically, is Home Alone
Okay.
for NES. Me and him, still to this day, have no clue how to beat this motherfucking game.
Yeah.
It's one board,
Yeah.
and you have to outlast Harry and Marv. It is so fucking hard. There is no gameplay out there. Nobody, we don't know how to beat it.
Yeah.
There's no nothing. So, physically in front of you, instead of just talking
Yeah.
about it, because at the end of it, we're always like, do you own it? Do you have this?
Yeah.
I brought
All right.
physical games. So there is no nothing.
So
you don't have to buy
Bubble
shit.
Bobble I have finished, and I love that game. It's on the Switch, so I actually love that game, and I've been playing it. So I'm not gonna pick that one just because I have been playing it. Home Alone or Karate Kid? I feel like I want to take the challenge, so I'll take Home Alone.
There you go, sir. Annie, it's still in its case. Still in its. It's not in the other thing.
Yeah.
Now, challenges accepted.
Yeah.
Before we started this cast, I told you I brought something special.
Yeah.
One of these days, probably maybe within the next month or so, I got still in its case.
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead for Sega Genesis.
Yeah. I'm excited for
that
that.
we are gonna cast.
We'll probably do a Twitch live stream of Beavis and Butthead. I will give
This
you guys.
was never a challenge for you. This
No.
was because I remember telling you about it, and you were like, "Let's save it for me and you."
Yeah. Because
This
it's two
is-
players. Yeah.
This is us.
So what I'll do
and
is...
and it still looks nice. Tell me it doesn't look beautiful.
No, it's good.
Still in the Genesis sleeve case.
So what we'll do is we'll put out the date that we will be premiering the Beavis and Butthead playthrough, and it'll be maybe a couple parters because we probably not finished that game in the first fucking sit down. So
No, probably not. The only way I beat that game was off of Game Genie with my boy Sean Conagus when I was like 12.
Yeah. So Beavis and Butthead's coming to Twitch, so definitely stay tuned for that. So
I love that I brought the physical to you.
So we do have our challenge. I have Home Alone. He has Ratchet and Clank, and we are challenge accepted.
Challenge.
So I guess we'll wrap this up. This is the Game of Rage podcast. I am Mike. He's Tenacious T. Follow us on all social medias. We are on Red Cyclone Inc. on Spotify. That's where you can get every single podcast the easiest way. We on SoundCloud. We on Tubi. Oh no, Tubi.
Not too.
Tumblr. We on SoundCloud, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube,
Spotify,
and Twitch TV, all market the mic. We are on Red Cyclone Link in all those same areas. Twitter, Tumblr, WordPress, Instagram, all Red Cyclone Link.
See, I'm about to bring out the MySpace again. Yeah. Shit.
So follow us all on there. We all have links to everything we do, so definitely check those out. Follow Tenacious T.
You can follow me on Twitter at Tenacious T RC Inc. You can also follow me on my own personal Instagram page, which is T_DA_tots TOTS. Shit, you come to Grand Central. We work at nighttime. Come by. Talk video games with us. Talk Power Rangers with us. Talk Ninja Turtles. Talk anything that is pop culture with us. We're with it. Also follow my rock and roll debate page, which is called Debate the Greats. That's debate_the_greats, where we come together each day and talk about two separate artists, two separate bands, put them together. Talk about the highlights, the lows, who's better. It's not to neglect each artist, but to say who's better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Always a shouts out to Game On, which we have mentioned numerous times in this podcast. Retro video game store based out on Long Island in two separate locations. One in Setauket, one in Miller Place. Satisfying all your retro video game needs from Dreamcast, from Nomads, from Sega Saturn,
all the rejects we talked about,
Jaguar, everything that we stated today about the flops.
I kind of want a Dreamcast
gaming.
now.
It's there. I have mine, and I still have it.
I kind of want mine.
Shouts out to Tristan. Tristan's my boy. Shouts out to Jay. Jay is the one who cleans my consoles.
Yep.
Go there with your console, state my name or the Merc with the Mic's name, and you will get a free cleaning. I promise you that. Come next
Don't
Saturday.
Free shit without us.
Come next Saturday to my birthday, where I have a special prize going out to the first child who walks in that building. Will be $100 gift certificate to Game On.
Okay.
It is my personal thing. It is my personal birthday gift to anybody with a child.
Yeah.
To come. It is store credit.
Yeah.
Not actual money, but you will have $100 next Saturday, March 6th.
I'm gonna bring my nephew then.
$100 for any child who walks in the building.
Okay.
That is my gift to the world. Shouts out to Game On. Always a shouts out to Mind of an Artist, my friend Jerry, who has his own personal clothing line called Drugs and Demons. Very talented person. Go and check him out on Instagram and Facebook and every type of social media need that you need. And that's that.
All right. Peace out, laters. And
check our other podcasts.
Yes, check all our other podcasts. We have Not a Trekkie. We have the Morphin Cast. We have the Odd Shell Shock. We have the Game of Rage. We have Against Better I Swear and the Wrestling Babble, which are weekly podcasts. Follow, like, share, subscribe. Let your friends know. Let everyone know. And Doom is here, just headbutting the table.
Happy birthday to me.
Yes. If you go to the bar of Fatty McGee's, you can get free birthday punches off of Tommy. So come here and Give him
You
35
touch
punches.
me, I'm punching you in your fucking.
Give
throat.
him 35 punches. It's free on the podcast. So just
Yeah,
punch him in the knee, punch him in the
it's
thigh,
Store
punch him in
credit
the...
of punches.
Exactly. He'll take him. He'll take him like a little...
Like a little bitch.
Peace out, ladies. And always remember, fuck Zordon and play video games. Play
Yes.
on.